Hello, what's up YouTube? Ronnix with another tutorial, and in this tutorial I want to show you how you can edit studio portraits in Photoshop, or how you can easily edit full body images in Photoshop. So I know I've been doing so many tutorials about editing those headshots and those close-up photos. So I want to show you how you can approach a full body studio image, and also we're just going to be covering how to remove these folds or wrinkles from this studio backdrop. You can see it is a little bit wrinkled, so just want to see how to smoothen out that backdrop. And the settings I use for frequency separation when it comes to retouching or editing full body or half body images in Photoshop. So let's just get started with this tutorial. And I'm not going to be covering everything in depth. I'm just going to come right here to the action. I'm going to play my frequency separation 16-bit action. Since this is a 16-bit image, so just come and play my 16-bit action. And usually for full body images, I'm just going to come and scroll all the way down to the face. For full body images, I take the radius up to around 5, because I find like this is a nice standard for most full body images that I shoot. So you have to move the radius up to a point when you are losing out on the details. So for this case, I prefer a radius of 5.0. So it is the radius I use for most of my full body images, and the action is going to run and be applied to the photo. So if at all you're interested in purchasing my actions, don't forget to check the links in the description of this video to support this channel. So I'm just going to close this and come and select the low frequency layer, and first of all deactivate this layer right here, the black and white hole layer, and come under the brushes, simply right click and get my mixer brush tool. For the settings, I prefer the hardness to be at 0 and a clean brush, and I select this second option because I want Photoshop to automatically clean the brush and I don't want to carry color from one area to another. That's why I've selected the second option. With the wetness of 9, load 75, mix at 90 and the flow at 100%. So I make sure sample all layers is not checked because I only want to mix the skin tones in the low frequency layer. I'm just going to zoom in the image. I'm just going to start painting and blending the uneven skin tone transition. So I tend to use the technique of turning off the high frequency layer and reducing the size of the mixer brush tool by using the open and close brackets on the keyboard, and I'm just going to blend or mix color that looks uneven within the model's face, just like that. And you can see this makes you look at the colors in real time as you're working and clicking on them. So I'm using different sizes of the mixer brush tool depending on how small the area I want to work on is. So I'm just going to come and paint through or paint in those colors just like that. And you can as well work with the black and white as a whole player and see those uneven skin tone transitions. So the technique of turning off the textures and using a black and white layer as a check or help layer to show you those uneven skin tone transition really works well. But as you're selecting the black and white as a whole layer, ensure that you come back and you select the low frequency layer and select it so that you can blend the colors on that. When you find that confusing, you can turn this off and you work with the colors as you're looking at them. So when I turn this back on, you can see what we have just done with the image. So I'm just going to continue evening out the uneven skin tone transition just like that. And for full body portraits, I don't do much when it comes to retouching because it is a full body image. So anyway, you shouldn't do so much unless you just want to be more of a perfectionist. So I'm just going to come and continue evening out the transitions. So I'm basically painting in colors that are close or look alike all around or all over this image. And as I'm painting in those colors, you can see they're now transitioning quite well, and they are creating that kind of even transition within themselves. So I'm just going to turn this back on, and you can see the before after. You can come and blend this quite well and better. So I'm just going to look for another area that has skin, and I work on that area. For example, the hands. I'm just going to use a bigger size and just simply paint in with the low frequency layer selected, because I'm working with the colors and the skin tones, and those are embedded in the low frequency layer. So I'm just going to come and work right here, and you can see I'm not doing too much, but I think we have to do more on this area because we have more skin. So just want it to be as smooth as possible, because the ladies or women love perfect areas, especially those that have skin. So let's just perfect this area, and we smooth it out using our magical mixer brush tool. So don't mind, I'm just going to be sharing another trick, because you can see in my frequency separation action I have that empty layer, and I just want to show you how I use it and why it is in my frequency separation action, and I want to show you how effective you can use it when you're retouching or when you're doing skin retouching on studio portraits. Just stick around a little bit, and I'll be sharing all those in this tutorial. Just going to come and paint in those colors, and you can see I'm basically mixing colors that are looking the same or similar in this photo, and I'm just going to continue blending. But as you're doing this, make sure you come back and look at the progress so that you don't go overboard. So right now we are doing a very nice and decent job, and just come and work on other areas. For example, here you can blend in that area better and more. So just come down here and also reduce on the size, and you can mix these colors. But I just want to show you a technique that is going to transform your image quite better, or to a whole new level after using the mixer brush tool. So let me just come and work quickly on this, because I know you don't have the whole day and you don't have so much time at your disposal. So let me just come and simply blend these areas, and you can see it is just creating or harmonizing those colors that look uneven within the image. I'm just going to come and blend here quite well and better. So just come and mix and simply blend these areas, and you can see this is really turning out to look awesome. So you can see the before after for those areas, and you can see the before and after for the overall image. You can see we haven't done quite a lot, but we are really getting the job done. So after doing the mixer brush tool, I tend to incorporate a second technique, that is using our lasso tool. So I'm just going to come to the lasso tool with the feather of 22 pixels and new selection mode selected, and still on the low frequency. I'm just going to come and I refine the areas I may have missed out when I was using the mixer brush tool to blend the transition. So select an area that has the same colors and come to filter, blend, come to Gaussian blur. So usually for close-up photos I multiply this by 3, but when it comes to the full body images I just multiply this by 4. So I'm just going to type in 20, and you can see it refines and makes this look better. Just going to come and hit OK. Sorry about this. And I'm going to come and work on this other nice highlight. Right click and apply my Gaussian blur. So I'm going to be applying this onto all the areas that have skin in this image, and I'll show you later on the magic it has done. And we are going to be proceeding with the technique of showing you how to use an empty layer within your frequency separation action to have a better and more beautiful balance of the light or the colors in your photos. So I'm just going to come and work on this relatively smaller area and apply my Gaussian blur So just come and apply it right here. And after doing this, you can come and also apply the same to the face of a model if at all you're really more of a perfectionist, and just come and apply our Gaussian blur, and it's going to refine and make this look a little bit better. So you can see it has really done a perfect job. So let's just remove the blemishes, or even before we get to remove blemishes, let me show you this empty layer trick. So just select the empty layer and come under the brushes and simply select your normal brush, and it's going to be a soft round brush, hardness at 0, opacity at around 10%, and a flow of 100%. I'm just going to hit enter to approve those settings. Hit enter, and now zoom into the image, and before you proceed, make sure you come and get your eyedropper tool and select either 5x3 or 5x5 or 3x3 average. So I'm just going to use 5x5. So if at all you just want to match the color in this area with this color right below, I'm just going to come and simply hold down the alternate and click left click to get a sample, or you can as well come and get the brush and hold down alternate. So after setting up your eyedropper tool, get the normal soft round brush, left click, and you get a sample for this color. So you can look for an area that you want to perfect, and now you can reduce on the size and simply come and paint in that color, and it's going to relatively match the skin color in the overall image. So just come and paint in that color, and you can copy this color right here and just paint in that color. So you're basically trying to have an even skin color or even lighting onto the rest of the model's body or the rest of the skin. Just come and paint in color. So I'm just going to copy here and move in and paint in that dark area to slightly brighten it up. Just going to come and also paint in just like that. So you can see a before and after for just using that as a technique to match the skin color. You can see how nicely done this has turned out to be. So let's just come and remove the blemishes, and we proceed with cleaning up the backdrop right in this case. So just come, just going to be using the clone stamp tool with the high frequency layer selected. Just going to zoom into the image and clean up or remove the blemishes or skin imperfections. So hold on the alternate and left click to sample and simply paint over the blemish or click over the blemish to get rid of it or clean it up from the image. And you can see it is really doing a very nice and decent job too. I don't know how many times I've said nice and decent in this tutorial, but I hope you can see we are using a nice and decent technique. Oh, I said it again. So let's just come and paint in or remove the blemishes. You can see I'm trying to get rid of that line on the face of a model, and is just trying to eliminate or get rid of those unnecessary skin imperfections from the face of a model by using the clone stamp tool. And you can see we have done a great job. Just get rid of these tiny spots. So you can see right now you're done doing the skin retouching. So you can as well come and also apply the technique for brightening up the hand area. So using the same brush, you can just come and slightly paint over the hand area to slightly match the skin color with the rest of the skin in this case. So just come and paint in the color that we got from the model's legs, and you can see it is going to make the skin look better just like that, but don't overdo it. So I'm just going to hit Ctrl Command Z. You can see before after. So now the skin is matching and everything is good. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to clean up the backdrop, and before you can even clean up the backdrop, let's just first of all create a stamp visible layer. So I'm just going to come right here and I'm going to delete the black and white layer since we're done doing the skin retouching, and I'm just going to come and hit Shift Alternate Command E on the keyboard, or Shift Alternate Control E on the keyboard to create a stamp visible layer, and it is on this layer that we want to clean up the backdrop. So I'm just going to come back to our mixer brush tool with the same weight of around, let's use the weight of around 12%. We're just going to use it to clean up the backdrop in this case by simply painting. So you left click and hold down and paint over the areas that have those creases or wrinkles or those folds to get rid of them. And as you're doing this, your computer may really take or lag quite a bit depending on how loaded you have made it to be, but you have to come and just paint in through, and this is going to really do a nice and decent job. You can see it is lagging a little bit, but let me show you something right now. Let me just come and paint right here, but as you're painting, make sure that you don't move your mixer brush too close to the subject. So you have to keep a reasonable distance between your mixer brush tool and your model or your subject, because you don't want it to misbehave and spill color to other random areas in your photo or in your image. So just come and paint in through, and you can see how nicely done it is getting rid of those wrinkles. So the other trick you can use, you can simply come and create a black and white adjustment layer to show you where exactly those wrinkles are, and just come and darken the red channel, and you can as well darken the yellow channel. And with this you can see the areas we couldn't see with our plain eyes. So just come and select the low or this layer and just come and paint as you're looking at those hidden wrinkles that we wouldn't see quite well before. So just come and paint in through just like that. So just want to come and do the painting. So when it comes to these lines right here, how you can easily get rid of them, just move your brush in this kind of up down formation. So if at all a wrinkle is moving horizontally rather, move your brush in a vertical way to get rid of it. So this is moving in a horizontal form or direction, so just move the brush in that opposite direction and you're going to get rid of it so fast and easily and quickly. So just come and do that, and you can see it is even getting rid of the dirt particles that were on the backdrop. So just going to come and get rid of these, and you can see the black and white layer is really very nice and great, and it is so effective. Just look at how it is cleaning up and showing those wrinkles, and we're just getting rid of them. So you have to keep on playing around with the different sizes of your mixer brush tool, and it's going to give you perfect results. I know there are so many tutorials online about how to do this, but I find this very nice and beginner friendly, and you can incorporate it in your retouching. You can see I'm trying to get rid of this dirt particles, and I'm moving my brush in the opposite direction to get rid of those dust particles within the bottom part of the backdrop. You can see how nice and seamless this is looking, because when you turn off this, you can see it is a very clean and seamless backdrop. But right now you can see that, and we can still see it better with this on. So just come and move your mixer brush tool in the opposite direction to get rid of these annoying lines from your image and get rid of those dirt particles. Just move it so much. So just left click and drag your mixer brush tool to get rid of those dust particles just like that, and you can see it is very nice and seamless. You may think like there's no wrinkle at all in this backdrop, but we're just trying to perfect it or refine it. But as you're doing this, make sure you retain the original shadows and the highlights within the backdrop, because that creates a little bit of depth in your backdrop or in your portrait in general. So just zoom in and get rid of those particles just like that, and you can see we are really doing a pretty nice and decent job trying to do this nice and clean. Now just look at this dirt particles and just look at what the mixer brush tool has done right there, and we don't have to spend time trying to get our maybe spot healing brush to get rid of them or clean them up. So just zoom in and perfect your image, and your client is going to be really amazed about the job that you did well. So just come. So right now you can zoom out and look for the areas you haven't worked on in this case. So just come and paint in through, and you can see we're just trying to, or we are cleaning up these areas, and I'm playing around with different sizes of the mixer brush tool, and we are almost good to go. So just come and work on these areas. So zoom out and look for the areas you haven't worked on yet, and you can come and paint in through. Just look at what the mixer brush tool is going to do in this area that has our softbox. So just look at this and you see the wonderful job it has done in that area. Just a mixer brush tool, and that area has been totally cleaned up. So just look at how nice and seamless this has turned out to be. So let's turn off the black and white or our help player to see the job we have done cleaning up this image. So you can see, let's see the overall before and after so far. This is the image initially, before, after, before, after, before, after. You can see the nice job that we have gotten to do. So if at all you just want to add a different feel to your image, you can as well go ahead and do that. And how you can add that feel, you can simply come and add a little bit of dodging and burning to your image to make it look very nice or even better. So how we're going to do it, just going to come to the actions, and we're going to first of all delete the black and white, come and play my dodge and burn action. I'm just going to enhance the highlights and the shadows in the model's face. So close this, and using a white brush, a soft round white brush, opacity at 10 and flow at 100%. Switch this to white, and you can reset to get black and white. Make sure you have black and white by clicking on these boxes, and you can switch between black and white. Make sure white is on top by using X on the keyboard, or click on these arrows. So you just want to enhance the highlights and the shadows in this image. So I just want to enhance, for example, this nice highlight right here to add more shape and glow to the image, just like that. So just come and enhance those highlights. So I could as well zoom in and work, just want to enhance or enhance depending on where I come from, this nice and beautiful highlight in the model's face. So I'm just going to come and also burn this nice and beautiful cheekbone right here to make it a little bit more pronounced, just like that. So the next thing that we want to do, you can see the before and after for the dodging and burning. Just look at this. So next thing you want to do is you can do a little bit of eye whitening by coming and getting a hue and saturation adjustment layer, and just take the saturation all the way down, and you can just brighten it up. Select this mask and hit Ctrl Command I on the keyboard with an opacity of around 69% with the white brush still. You're just going to paint in the eyes to whiten them. So I'm just going to come and click and paint in the eyes to whiten the eyes, just like that. It is going to add a little bit more of the definition within the eyes of a model. Just look at this. Just look at this. Command minus to zoom out. You can see it has really done a nice and decent job. So let's see the overall before and after for the skin retouching and everything we have done, like the backdrop cleaning up. So this is the before and after. You can as well intensify the blacks by coming to selective color and simply take the blacks up to darken the blacks or the hair of the model, just like that. Let's just go with around 5, and you can as well add a little bit of blue to the image, just like that. So let's see the overall before and after, and this is the before, after. So you can now go ahead and save the photo. So in order to save the image so that it doesn't change in color after you've been able to save and spend time retouching it, just come to File and come to Export, and you come down to Export As. So you want to save a very sharp image or an image that won't change in color after it has been able to be saved. So just come and do that, and you're going to come and embed color profile and also convert it to sRGB, and also come to the resample and make it to bicubic sharper, a scale of 100%, quality at 100%, and the format is JPEG. And when the preview is done loading, or when the image is now displaying right here, you can come and hit export, and you look for a folder where you want to export or save your image. So let's just wait, and the image is right here, and simply hit export, choose a location and simply hit save, and you can now come and save the image. So I'm just going to name this and click and save it onto my desktop. So basically this is how to do your studio retouching, and also how to clean up your studio backdrops. If at all you found this helpful, don't forget to like this video, don't forget to subscribe this channel. If at all you have been watching and not subscribed this channel, Ronnix from ronnixphotography. Thank you for watching, and see you in yet more amazing tutorials. And don't forget to keep practicing and also keep creating.